Cherry petals caught mid-air when tugged hard like it didn't care. Crosswalk flicker, sky so wide, and I just held my breath in stride. Then sudden lift, a silent war. My skirt rebelled, a gasp, no floor. But just before I turned to stone, a hand behind and not my own. Not my own. Careful, he said, not too smooth. A tone half serious, half soothe. His hand pulled back like it got burned, but still my heartbeat never turned. He looked away, but glanced too soon. His ears blushed pink beneath the noon. No teasing grin, no cool guy charm, just flustered fingers, gentle arm. It wasn't much, a minor breeze, but now my chest won't stay at ease. The way he smiled, the way he fled, still plays like reruns in my head. The wind may pass, the flowers fall, but I replay that brush that call. 1,000 steps, a million scenes, yet all I see are windy jeans. He caught a skirt, not knowing this. He also caught a pulse, a wish. The bell had rung, the schoolyard buzzed, but I was stuck where blushing does. I pulled my hem, I fixed my bag, still felt the press of that small flag. No eye contact, no clever line, just be careful in sunshine. And somehow now the breeze I fear feels like a whisper in my ear. I tried to laugh, to shake it off, to fake a cough, disguise a scoff, but still that second lingers sweet between my spine and skipping beat. He didn't plan, he didn't flirt, but now I guard my every skirt. And when I walk, I find I check the breeze, the weight, the space, my neck. He won't recall, he wouldn't guess the way his voice undid my dress. Not fabric-wise, but in my mind he left a thread I cannot find. A passing touch of chivalry that opened up a side of me. Now every breeze feels twice as loud since that small shield he handed proud. He saved the day, then walked away, but I'm still here where moments stay. He blushed for me, not out of fear, but something awkward, something near, and I pretended not to see while framing it in poetry. His palm no longer pressed to cloth, but I recall it clear and soft. And next time wind begins to race, I'll still be chasing that red face. So if you ask me why I grin when wind rolls up and petals spin, it's not the season, not the sky, it's one small look I caught in high. He didn't mean to shake my world, he just held down one spinning swirl. But now I walk with steady pace in case the breeze repeats his grace. A hand, a laugh, a heat so sly, spring wrote his name across my sky. sentence carved in quiet tones that made my heartbeat feel less alone. You're fine like this, no spotlight cue, but I still blaze because it's true. He jogged, I stumbled, side by side, but somehow felt like matching pride. Not winning gold or beating time, but just surviving, breathing rhyme. Next lap he'll sprint, I know he will. His limit's sky, while mine stands still. But for that one exhausted round, he made my silence feel profound. He didn't fix, he didn't save, but showed the way my soul could brave. And when the cheers all fade to gray, I'll keep that voice from yesterday. Don't push too hard, he said like spring, and suddenly I felt my wings. No podium, no finish bell, but still I soared beneath his spell. It's not the sweat or lap count one, it's how he made the hard part fun. And though we split past turn and bend, I'll always call that lap my friend. Not for the speed or who came first, but for the kindness unrehearsed. Sticky sugar in my sleeve, a melted mess I can't retrieve. My pocket side, my finger stuck, a candy crime, a minor luck. I stared like fate had played a joke, my pride dissolved in lemon soak. The wrapper torn, the flavor gone, one tiny drop of joy withdrawn. Then want this one, a voice too soft, he held it out like holding loft. A perfect swirl still wrapped in bright, like citrus stars in morning light. I blinked, I froze, forgot my name, and blamed the heat, not sudden flame. Thanks, I said, too fast, too low, but every second started to glow. A candy's just a candy, right? But not when handed in this light. The foil sparkled like a spell. My breath got trapped, I couldn't tell why something small could stretch so wide. The sugar drop I can't untie. He walked away like it meant none, but I still taste that burst of sun, wrapped in citrus, sealed in blue, a memory I can't undo. I kept it close, unopened tight, a secret piece of borrowed light. The wrapper crinkled in my palm, a tiny storm behind a calm. The hallway buzzed, the lockers rang, but I just watched where shadows hang. My fingers shook, my mind replayed the way he smiled, the way he swayed. It wasn't love, it wasn't loud, but still it pulled me from the crowd. He didn't know the shift he made, the way my dull day got remade. No song, no line, no faded kiss, just candy wrapped in quiet bliss. And now I see that every sweet can hold a heart's forbidden beat. It's not romance, it's not cliche, but somehow still won't drift away. His voice, the angle of his hand, all staged too well for me to stand. He tossed it like it meant so little, but now it's locked inside my middle. That sugar twist, that tangy grace still lingers soft across my face. I never knew my chest could keep a candy's warmth so rich, so deep. The bell will Yellow stripes and morning haze, crosswalk split the city maze. Polished shoes on sleepy roads, uniforms in code mode loads. Then I saw him vest and flag like sunshine stitched on traffic drag. He waved at me not like the rest, just good morning plain and blessed. It wasn't loud, it wasn't sweet, no sparkle cue or heartbeat beat, just words that passed through dawn with chill but left my senses standing still. He didn't pause, he didn't flirt, still every syllable would hurt in ways that made the sidewalk bend as if the street just turned a friend. He said good morning, just two sounds, but suddenly my world unbounds. The clouds felt soft, the breeze said hi, and even school felt less like why. Then I waved, a voice so plain, yet I'm not walking quite the same. Don't tell me this is nothing much, when all my gears just changed from touch. A morning shift, a traffic guide, but now my heartbeat walks with pride. I crossed the line, the school gate near, but still that voice rang crystal clear. No love, no note, no second glance, but still I spin in silent dance. He held a sign, I held my breath, afraid of thoughts I hadn't met. The signal green, the moment passed, but in my chest the glow at last. He said it just because he should, yet somehow made me feel so good. The traffic flowed, the world moved on, but part of me stayed at that dawn. I walked the halls with extra spring, like jackets lined with hidden wings. And when they asked, you seem so bright, I said just weather, morning light. But deep inside, I knew the truth. A simple line rewrote my youth. No roses tossed, no stalls aligned, just good and morning redefined. A silly shore to feel this fast, but girlhood's made to never last. So let me keep this tiny gleam, this sidewalk spark, this blinking beam. A word, a flag, a quiet start, and suddenly I'm street lamp heart. Tomorrow he might not be there, another face, another square, but I will still replay that scene, the moment nothing felt routine, where someone kind without a cause reset the world with zero flaws. Not love, not fate, not grand design, just one small high that felt like mine. He stood with fight and sleepy grace, I want with blush I couldn't trace. The morning buzzed, the sparrows played, and all my doubts just walked away. He said good morning, like a breeze, but now my feet float off with ease. I don't need fine wings to shushing them, sometimes the quiet ones just glow. Since now I pass by that gate, I'll hope it's him and not be late. Yeah, no keys are breathing slow, the metronome begins to glow. A chord align, the room in tune, with cherry light from late afternoon. I sang the note, I held it true, then somewhere deep it met flat. I laughed inside, how soft was that? But still that tone, it knew my name and shook the silence into flame. A single pitch, a half delay, but it has lived inside all day. Like ink that spills across the beat, your echo made me incomplete. It wasn't love, it wasn't fate, but something subtle, something great. No spotlight blush or sweeping cue, just me and breath that slipped through you. The choir went on, the bells soon rang, but in my chest a note still sang. The piece was done, applause was small, but I was wrecked by that soft call. Two voices met, then broke apart, and left me tuned to just your heart. If I could trap that harmony and play it back inside of me, I'd find the word I didn't say that somehow slipped away that day. A whisper scored any key that only you could set free. But now I hum it when alone, a song that no one else has known. So sing again. Stacks too tall, the spine creaks low, a tilted tremble, then they go. I reach too fast, I lose my stance, and gravity begins its dance. A shuffle sound, a sudden shape, and just before the grand escape, a hand not mine cuts through the mess, a breath, a beat, a near caress. Careful, he said, not out of charm, but like the breeze before alarm. His fingers brushed against my skin, a second long, but deep within. I dropped my gaze, my heart not so. The words came small, thanks didn't know. He nodded once like it was not, but I was burning where he caught. No fireworks, no swelling strings, just fallen books and fluttered wings. His touch was brief, the world stayed still, but I was racing up a hill. No one else would see the spark, the spotlight lit the corner dark. The cart rolled on, my steps fell soft, but all my thoughts were held aloft. The dust between the rows of shelves now echoed louder than ourselves. I tried to sort, to realign, but titles blurred with every line. The cover read a simple tale, but I was stuck mid-fairy tale. He stayed to help so casually, as if it meant no weight to me. He joked, this one's a brick of text, but all I thought was what came next. He held a book with quiet ease, while I forgot how hearts appease. And still that glance, a glance, that's all, had built a kingdom from a fall. It wasn't loud, it wasn't planned, just chaos tamed by one spare hand. But even then, like bright brush, my chest had learned to skip and rush. He touched the edge of what I hide and left before I could decide. Now every shelf, each what I hide and left before I could decide. Now every shelf, each cover worn, feels like a place where sparks are born. One near mistake, one rescue grip, and I'm still lost in fingertips. You won't remember how you stood, or how your tone felt oddly good, but I recall it freeze and frame, the second where you said my name. A whisper carved in binding tight, between the lines of wrong and right. And every time I file or shelve, you're there like stories write themselves. So call it crush, or call it breeze, but something stirred beneath the ease. A quiet quake behind my eyes that won't subside, won't rationalize. I walked away, my steps unfroze, but deep inside a page had closed, and one began with ink so new. The title starts and ends with you. No final line, no authorship, just me still warm from fingertips. and blue, the canvas waits. School desk pushed and sealed by fate. A banner stretched across the air with springtime paint and static flare. I dipped my brush, I drew a line, a stripe of sky too thick to find. And then his voice, a flash of beam. Can you help here? I left my dream. He held a brush, his grin too bright, like all the sun had turned to white. I nodded once, forgot my hand, and all the world turned soft and grand. He smelled of paint and something warm, like boyhood laughter, sudden storm. And all at once I knew too much, that every smile could start a rush. It's just a task, it's just a game, but now I'll never feel the same. He passed a brush like passing fate, and now I can't recalibrate. The way he leaned, the way he stood, too close to think, too near for good. This isn't love, not yet, not loud, but still I feel my heart beat proud. The colors drip, the canvas dries, but I'm still lost in painted skies. He squatted low to fix the edge and brushed my sleeve along the ledge. I'll take this side, you got the sun, but I was blinded, paint undone. My thoughts ran wild like track and field, but stayed composed behind my shield. He looked my way, I lost my grip and dropped the brush mid-pastel drip. He laughed and reached to pick it up, the closeness clinked like metal cup. No wind, no flag, no finish line, just me and him in color spine. And though he said no clever phrase, that moment lit 1,000 plays in quiet rooms and racing thoughts where nothing's real, yet everything's caught. We paint for pride, for team, for cheers, but here I paint to calm my fears. He's just a classmate, just a friend, but something shakes, I can't pretend. Yeah, the letters bold, the brushstrokes wide, but I keep watching from inside. A banner's just a cloth to show, yet mine now flutters heart below. He handed paint, not poetry, but made a masterpiece in me. Tomorrow this will hang so high, above the field, beneath the sky. But he won't know the storm he made, with just a grin, a joke replayed. And I won't say, I won't confess, I'll just keep painting under stress, while all the red and yellow blend into a crush I won't defend. Yeah! So here I stand, with brush in hand, still swirling thoughts I can't withstand. He staked this part, I moved too fast, and fell into a world too fast. The banner dries, the time runs out, the cheers await, the team will shout. But deep beneath the poster's frame, I sign my name beside his name, in paint and breath and heart's disguise, where butterflies wear no goodbyes. Brush in hand, my fingers stall, the silence paints across the wall. He sits across, no need to pose, but still my breath comes far too close. The canvas waits, the clock won't move, while every line he makes improves. I try to sketch, I try to see, but all he draws is look at me. Pair up, they said, so matter of fact, and fate replied with perfect tact. He turned and smiled, just one small glance, and now I'm locked in weird romance, not with his lips or voice or name, but with the quiet drawing game. His eyes meet mine a second too long, and suddenly I'm all wrong. This isn't love, it isn't art, but something skipped inside my heart. A gaze too loud, a line too neat, and I forgot my steady beat. He sits so still, so unaware, but every glance he throws is flare. My pencil slips, my color bleeds. He's all I see, all that I need. He said I stared, and lines were drawn, and something deep just switched on. He's not a crush, not quite a spark, but still he lit my canvas dark. And when he asked, can I see yours? I shook and smiled and felt the floors. The brush, the board, the eye, the game, and now I'll never draw the same. Spring was calm until it cracked, a gust that tore the silence back. The petals spun like startled stars as branches snapped from cherry scars. I didn't flinch, not fast enough. The world turned loud, the air went rough. But then a hand, a shield, a voice that made my heartbeat lose its choice. He caught the fall before it hit, his grin half tilted, cool and lit. A closed one, he joked so light, but I was caught in sudden height. That look, that laugh, that easy care felt sharper than the whipping air. The branch lay still, but I was not. My pulse had tied itself in knots. And just like that, the script was torn. A moment ordinary born became a scene I can't erase, where wind and oboe slapped my face. He wasn't magic, wasn't flame, but now I couldn't say the same. The sky was loud, the trees were bare, but he stood glowing unaware. A second's brush, a hero part, and spring rewrote my foolish heart. I tried to speak, my voice got lost, my thoughts a blur, my cheeks embossed. The crowd passed by like moving haze, but I was stuck in cherry blaze. His sleeve still held a flake of white from blossoms torn in morning flight, and I just stared like some cliche, as if he'd grown wings on the way. He waved it off so unaware that I was drowning in his care. No battle cry, no perfect stance, but still he danced in my advance. The petals swirled, the branches creaked, and I forgot the words I'd speak. My heart one subtle scream too loud, and now it drums inside the crowd. He wasn't trying to impress, but somehow he did nothing less. No saving grace, no shining shield, just one some smoke and all was healed. I never thought a snap of wood could feel like fate just understood. A storm, a glance, a startled sway, and everything just broke my way. One blink, one breath, one reckless part, and I'm a mess with tangled heart. I know it's not some film in bloom, but still I'm spinning in that room where petals fell and time stood thin, and he became the spring within. No fireworks, no echo wide, just his calm voice and time beside. He said, be careful, laughed then gone, but something soft keeps holding on. And now the cherry trees look new, as if they saw what I went through. He touched the air and bent the breeze, and shook the logic from my knees. A gust of fall, a boy too kind, who stumbled into all my mind. So let it rain, let petals dart. He's just one laugh, but stole my heart. Chalk in the air like snowfall light, a rhythm soft in amber white. I tap the board, I shake the tray, erase the day, the noise, the play. The room half filled with after class, the broom slow scrape across the glass. I didn't speak, just did my part, till someone tapped against my heart. He stood beside a hand half raised with sleeves all took a sudden groove. It wasn't much, it wasn't loud, but still it pulled me from the crowd. No grand hello, no perfect line, just one hand and then a sign that someone sees without a show. And suddenly I feel it grow. The air was thick with dust and spring, but still I heard my heartbeat sing. One broom, one glance, a tiny chore, and now I want a little more. He didn't grin, he didn't tease, he didn't try to aim or please, but in that tone, that low and plain, he spoke to something I can't name. I gave a nod, our arms just brushed, and every sound around us hushed. No thunder crash, no flare of light, just me inside a sudden height. We swept in sync, a quiet beat, like chalk dust falling at our feet. No eyes on us, no words to stall, just gravity between it all. His fingers gripped the wooden stick, while time began its quiet trick. He said, almost done, and smiled so small, I swear the sun lit up the wall. It wasn't fate, it wasn't fire, but still it sparked a strange desire to pause, to freeze, to hold that time where brooms and chalk form silent rhyme. No promise made, no story spun, just warmth where once was only sun. A breath, a step, a shared routine that suddenly felt too unseen. He helped me sweep, then walked away, but left me glowing for the day. And maybe when he said those words, he meant no more than passing birds, but still I hear it echo clear like pollen floating near my ear. Let me help, he said, then moved, and something in my chest approved, not for the task or dust on floor, but for the hymn I wanted more. So now I'm here with mop and mop, still trying hard to make this stop, but every stroke recalls that tone and makes me feel I'm not alone. It wasn't grand, it wasn't loud, but I still float above the crowd. A sweep, a nod, a whispered breeze, and I am warmer by degrees. No symphony, no bold decor, just him and me and something more. Names were called like lottery spins, each syllable a race that grins. I held my breath, I crossed my feet, and fate decided something sweet. His name and mine, right side by side. I blinked too fast, I couldn't hide. A shuffle here, a notebook there, and now we shared the springtime air. He glanced and gave a half smile flick. My stomach turned, my thoughts went quick. Let's trade some snacks if that's okay. Just that and all, then all my cool get weird. My cheeks went red just as I feared. The sun was kind, the breeze was light, but I was wrapped in sudden bright. This isn't love, not yet, not clear, but still he's standing way too near. One candy pack, one lazy grin, and suddenly I'm caving in. He talks like it's a casual thing, but I can't hear what others bring. The world has blurred, the sky is too wide, and he's the reason I can't hide. everything begins to reel. I catch his eye, then look away. It's nothing much, I springtime play. But still his words repeat on loop, like melodies inside a swoop. Good choice, he said, I love those too. And now I've got no snack to chew. My brain's a words of sweet and salt, and he's the sugar in default. He's not a prince, I'm not a song, but something's right where it feels wrong. One sentence made the world tilt fast, and now I want this lunch to last. He's walking close but not too close, still laughing like he somehow knows that even in this daylight game he left a spark I can't quite name. One phrase, one glance, one simple snack, and now I want the moment back. Tomorrow we'll be back in class, just passing notes that never ask. But here beneath this open sky, I caught a piece I can't deny. He didn't touch, he didn't tease, but somehow knocked me off my knees. And all it took was words and sweets to make my heartbeat skip its beats. It wasn't planned, it wasn't fate, just lucky names and group create. But still I walked like dreams begin, beside a boy beneath my skin. The chips, the gum, the sour treat, now taste like moments incomplete. He smiled, I smiled, and that was all. But spring just wrote me in his sprawl. So call it small or teenage fun, but I'm still glowing from that one. The chalk was gone, the clocks had spun, a classroom bathed in setting sun. My cheeks still lined with page and pen, a dream too soft to end just then. I blinked into the silent air, no shuffling feet, no classroom flare, and there it was, my notebook bent. A message left, a small event. Hey, you were sleeping, all okay. His writing danced in casual gray. No drama tone, no big concern, just something simple, warm in turn. He signed his name in lowercase, as if afraid to leave a trace, but still it sang without a sound. A heartbeat folded, safe and found. And suddenly the day rewound. The empty room became profound. A note, a name, a softer light that changed the pace of Friday night. No roses, songs, or hidden clues, just kindness in a ballpoint bruise. And yet my chest began to race, like I had seen another face in him, in us, in what was there between the words, between the air. The bell had rung, the crowd had gone, but one stayed back, then quietly drawn to scribble lines across my day and nudge my tired thoughts his way. He didn't wait, he didn't shout, but left a note before he walked out. And maybe that's what made it hit, the fact he never made it big. I traced the ink, reread the bend, each letter curved like it was friends. A silly phrase, a gentle poke, but through that line a window woke. How long he stayed, how long he knew that I was lost in nothing news. And still he thought to leave her mark, a single star in hallway dark. It wasn't much, it wasn't loud, but still it broke me from the cloud. He could have left like all the rest, but paused instead and passed a test of noticing, of being near, of catching things that disappear. And now the desk, the light, the air all shimmer like he once was there. And I who slept now wide awake hold every word like it might break. The room was vast, the moment thin, but something bloomed inside my grin. Not love, not faint, not sweeping thrill, but something solved that ling that is all message left, consigned by fate, but sealed in me before too late. I folded up the page with care and felt him stay, though not quite there. So here I stand, the last to leave. sudden spark, just light left glowing in the dark. My shoes tap out a nervous beat while paper echoes under feet. Uniform halfway on my skin, like armor that forgot to win. I clutch the hem, avoid the gaze, just trying to survive this phase. Then suddenly a step too near, and there he is, exactly here. His eyes just glance, then glance again. My throat forgets its oxygen. Not sick, not faint, not quite a mess, but still a pulse I can't suppress. He looks away, I count to 3, but somehow still he's next to me. It's not a love scene, not a game. No flirting words, no burning flame. Just folded sleeves and hallway air, and awkward silence we both share. But still my heart begins to race, like gym class in a tighter space. I'm standing straight, my face is red. The weight of things not being said. This isn't love, not yet, not loud. But I'm too warm inside this crowd. The nurse calls names like bullets fired, but I'm not moving, I'm just wired. I see the scale, I see the line, and wish my thoughts would just resign. He leans against the locker side, his fingers twitch like thoughts can't hide. I wonder if he hears it too, this quiet shift from me to you. No jokes exchanged, no borrowed pen, just heartbeats pacing 1 to 10. He lifts his gaze, I drop mine quick, this isn't romance, just a tick. A glitch in time, a flutter caught in spaces health class never taught. I hate this weight, I crave the thrill of not knowing what we feel still. It's not a movie, not a crush, but everything inside me hush. The way his glance brushed past my sleeve makes me forget how lungs should breathe. We're just two names on clipboards tall, but I can't hear the nurse's call. I shift my stance, he clears his throat, and that alone becomes a quote. No heart confessions, no surprise, just me reflected in his eyes. Maybe next year we'll both laugh at hallway silence split in half. But now the moment stretches thin, and I don't know where I begin. He shifts his weight, I pull my cuff, as if that gesture says enough. The hallway's cold, but I'm too warm inside the soft diagnostic storm. It's not a day I'll write in ink, but still I pause before I blink. I'll pass the scale, I'll mark my height, but carry this into the night. The way he stood, the breath he drew, the word was something that I knew. A fleeting buzz, a static spark that lingers still beyond the mark. So call it nerves or subtle signs, but something real crossed both our lines. The wind picked up my plastic wrap, a quiet crime, a midday trap. I chased it once, it danced away, but someone stepped into the play. He caught it mid-flight, calm and neat, like storm and silence chose to meet. He held it out, then found a seat beside me, warm and incomplete. He said, nice day, with half a grin, the kind that barely let you in. And in that phrase, so small, so plain, I heard the sun inside the rain. No rush, no plan, no crowded scene, just two of us, and in between, the city hum, the rooftop blue, The sky was chill, he wasn't loud, he wasn't bright, but somehow caught my heart just right. I took a bite, he watched the street, and suddenly the silence beat like something sweet was in the air. And maybe I was halfway there. Not love, not fate, not grand surprise, but peace beneath a cloudless sky. He didn't ask for names or plans, he didn't glance or fold his hands, but still his presence filled the shade like sunshine that refused to fade. I had my lunch, he had his calm, and both of us stayed soft and long, as if the moment knew to grow in spaces words don't have to show. No fairy dust, no sudden change, no magic line to rearrange, but still I smiled into the breeze and let the silence aim to please. The wrapper crinkled near my knee and echoed oddly perfectly, like something small had gone so right. A breeze, a seed, a beam of light. We didn't move, we didn't lean, but somehow both had felt the scene. 1,000 lunches just like this, but never with that subtle bliss. His voice still floated in my ear like nice day meant he saw me near. No promises, no stolen looks, just quiet beats between the books. A chapter soft, unwritten, yet still curling in my silhouette. Hey, maybe tomorrow he'll forget. The rooftop sky, the sunlight set, but I will keep that simple frame. The way he smiled without a name. We shared no joke, no song, no plot, but still I got what most have not. A moment real, a moment kind, where just this quiet calmed my mind. The rooftop wind, the lunch undone, the way my fingers met the sign. His scenes instead of me, not too close, but still the one I like the most. No epic tale, no hearts on fire, just tears that didn't ask for higher. I didn't fall, I didn't fight, but still I floated in that light. One phrase, one breeze, one empty sky, and still I smiled, I don't know why. New sea, new air, fluorescent hum. The year's first bell, the pulse gone numb. A borrowed book on my desk sat, its corners worn, its spine all flat. I flipped it open just to see if pages whispered anything, and there it was, his name ink shy in letters slanted like the sky. I knew that name, I knew that face, from just a desk across the place, but never read his words before. Not like this, inside a lore, a scribbled note beside a date. Quiz move, don't be late again. Wait, a doodle drawn of sleepy eyes and stars escaping little lies. And suddenly he wasn't far, not just a boy with bass guitar, but someone who once fought the page with boredom, wit, or maybe rage. I smiled before I meant to feel the way his ink made school more real. It wasn't deep, it wasn't loud, just one small laugh. I wasn't proud. But in that breath I caught a thread of him, half written, half unread. He drew a sun beside a rule, as if to dare the math be cool. A question mark inside a heart, like even class could fall apart. I found his notes absurd, precise, his world laid bare in graphite slice, and through each margin's quiet clue I read the part he never knew. What did he feel while jotting this? Annoyance, hope, or hidden miss? The version of him left behind was softer than the daily grind. A tiny arrow to a quote, memorized, not worth the throat. I chuckled once, then bit my lip, as if I'd found a private script. The desk was same, the light unchanged, but suddenly the view rearranged. He wasn't just a name I knew, but lines and loops and something true. A fragment passed from hand to hand, still echoing what he had planned. A bridge too small to call a gate, but still enough to shift my fate. A whisper in a borrowed page, what made me want to turn the stage. Tomorrow he might never guess that someone read his his written mess. But I will walk these halls today with just a bit less shy delay. Not quite a crush, not quite a tale, but still enough to tip the scale. He left his name and just like that, the space between us trimmed and flat. No letters sent, no glances caught, just paper ghosts and teachers' thought. But I have seen a corner bloom inside this pale fluorescent room. A name, a laugh, a note half lost that made the morning worth its cost. He didn't know the gift he gave through scribbled lines that misbehave. But still I smiled and still I knew I now see him in wider view. Steps that go soft on hallway tile, a golden hush, the air on trial. I only meant to grab and go, but paused beneath the amber glow. The window stretched a final gleam across the desks, across a dream. And there he lay, a shadow curled, unmoving in his sunset world. His lashes brushed the paper's line, a pencil rolled, the day resigned. His chest rose slow, a silent tune composed beneath a sleepy moon. I held my breath, then took a pace, as if I'd stumbled into grace. My blazer off, I let it fall, a shield against the springtime call. Then came a sound, a whisper low, too faint for stage, too soft to show. Thank you, he breathed, not fully there. A drifting voice caught in the air. It wrapped around my startled chest and made a silence feel like rest. No spotlight burst, no camera spun, but something in me had begun. I wasn't seen, but still I stayed and let that little word cascade. The desk stood still, the walls turned warm, while dusk replaced the classroom norm. No buzzing lights, no rush goodbyes, just one faint breath beneath closed eyes. I traced the edges of the scene, like watching through a window screen. He didn't move, but somehow knew that someone made his sky more true. I thought to leave to break the spell, but found I couldn't move that well. The hush was thick, the world was light, and I was floating out of sight. He looked so far and yet so near, my name still dancing in my ear, from lips that barely knew their role, and still rewrote a piece of soul. He said it not for me to hear, but still it rang too bright, too clear. I wasn't asked, I didn't speak, but felt my rib cage start to creak. A single word, a breathless slip, that made my hands begin to grip. This wasn't love, not quite, not yet, but something I won't soon forget. A thread too soft to ever fray, still binding us in quiet gray. I left before the moment woke, before the dream had time to choke, but part of me stayed in that room, a whisper blooming into bloom. He may not know, he may not guess that I was there to clean the mess, but I was caught, completely caught by one kind word he never thought. And even now the sunset plays inside my chest on quiet days. A stare at me stays while we bleed, and all the stillness I'd have sneaked. I wasn't brave, I wasn't bold, just on the mirror when day grew cold, but somehow that was all it took to write myself inside his book. Not loudly, no, not loud at all, but loud enough for hearts to fall. The gym lights dimmed, the chatter hushed, my heart forgot its casual hush. And there he stood, 6 strings in hand, a silhouette I couldn't stand. To call the same boy I would tease in hallways filled with worn out ease. But now beneath the light so bright, he looks like someone born of night. He strummed a chord, my breath got caught, shot through beats like second chance. The crowd applauded, none could tell that I had tripped and fully fell from just one look, one song, one light. And now I burn with something bright. Maybe tomorrow he'll be shy or mumble words when I walk by, but I will keep that spark intact.